I wanted to do a quick video here of comparing the 2022 and 2023 HRV. After owning both of them, I'll give you a owner's review between the two. We'll do a quick walk around here and compare the two. Obviously, you will have your own personal opinion on which one you think looks better. I honestly like the look of the 2023. I find the look of the 2022 to be a little outdated. Honda started using that sharp-nosed front-end look on 2012 Honda Civics, and they have used them ever since, so it's about 10 years ago when they started using it, so it's starting to look a little old. It is worth noting that fog lights are no longer an option on the 2023, but they obviously were an option on the 2022s. As we wrap around the sides here, you'll take notice to a difference here in the rear passenger doors. The 2022 has an integrated door handle, whereas the 2023 has a more standard door handle. While the 2022's door handle does look sleek, I find it to be rather problematic and open if you have things in your hand, and do prefer the door handle on the 2023. Moving on to the rear of the car, you will take notice the 2023 does have LED taillights, while the 2022 does not. Also, the 2022 does have a unfinished plastic lower bumper, whereas the lower bumper on the 2023 is painted and finished. Overall, the bumper on the 2023 should hold up better, as it is painted and has clear coat on it, whereas the 2022 has more of a raw plastic and will eventually fade if it sits out in the sun. One thing I do like about the rear of the 2022 is that you can see the muffler, where the muffler is hidden in the 2023, and I always find it slightly odd when a car hides the muffler. Every car is a muffler, might as well show it. It's just something odd that bothers me about the 2023. Most people probably don't take notice to. So we wrap around here and finish up our walk around. You have now seen the wheels on the 2022 and 2023. I personally find both sets of wheels hideous and prefer the wheels off the 2022 Honda HRV Sport. As I stated earlier, you're welcome to have whatever opinion you like on the exterior. There is no right or wrong opinion here. One thing I do want to note though is that the 2023 is a larger vehicle than the 2022. One thing that's always bothered me about the 2022 HRV is that if you look at it from the side, you will see these things hanging down from underneath your car. It almost looks like your exhaust is loose or a suspension piece broke. What that is actually a metal bar. Since you have Honda Magic seats in the 2022, the gas tank had to be moved to put those seats in. So the fuel tanks actually moved forward, and since the fuel tank sits further forward, they had to put a metal cage around it, and that's what you're seeing. In the 2023, since it has no Magic seats, they could move the gas tank back to its traditional position underneath the rear seats. Next, we will compare the engine and transmissions in the 2022 and 2023. This is the first time in the HRV's history that it had a change in engine. First up is 2022 here. It's a 1.8 liter engine making 141 horsepower with 127 foot-pounds of torque. It is mated to a CVT transmission and has paddle shifters inside the vehicle so you can manually upshift and downshift. This 1.8 liter engine can easily last 200,000 miles with regular maintenance and oil changes. Next up, we have the 2023 HRV, which has a 2.0 liter engine making 158 horsepower and 138 foot-pounds of torque. Although it does make more horsepower, due to the vehicle being larger, it is not noticeable in everyday driving. The 2.0 is connected also to a CVT, but does not have the paddle shifters available to upshift and downshift manually. This 2.0 liter is used in the Honda Civics for many years and is also a very proven engine, and it can easily last 200,000 miles with regular maintenance and oil changes. It is worth noting I do miss the paddle shifters, as sometimes Honda transmissions like to downshift going downhill a little too aggressively for my personal preference. So I do like to upshift occasionally in the 2022, as this is not an option on the 2023. Up next, we're going to go ahead and compare the interiors on the 2022 and 2023 HRV. We're going to go ahead here and start on the 2022. As you can see, is the standard HRV interior they've all come to know. As we slide in here, you'll take notice to the gauge cluster. It's rather basic. You have a tachometer there on the left, and it also tells you where your transmission is, if it's in park, drive, or reverse. And then you have your speedo in the center that is just analog, and then off to the far right you do have some digital displays that show you your mileage, your fuel, and a few other information. I'm going to go ahead here and pull up the fuel mileage to see what we have. As you can see, this 2022 has been averaging 30.5 miles per gallon. That is a combination between highway and city driving. Most of it is probably a 50-50 split between highway and in city driving. Next up, we have a 7-inch touchscreen display in the center. It supports Apple CarPlay. However, it is not wireless Apple CarPlay. You do have to plug your phone in. Down below that, we have our climate control. As you can see, the climate control is all touchscreen. It's fairly nice. However, if this fails, I could see this being very problematic. If anything at all fails, you probably lose access to all your controls. Off to the left there, you can see the push button start. Moving over to the center console, it's rather small. We do have one storage unit that I struggled to open to show you. It's rather small. The center armrest does adjust forward. And one more quick look around the inside of the 2022 HRV. Next up, we're going to go ahead and look at the interior here on the 2023 HRV. As you climb in, it may remind you of a 2022 Honda Civic. That is because Honda is moving to a more universal interior. This interior will also carry over to the new 2023 CRV that's coming out in September. As you look around, it looks like a far more premium vehicle in my opinion. Lots more features, a lot more basic built-in creature comforts in my opinion. First, we're going to go ahead here and look at the center display. As you can see, there's a full digital readout on the left-hand side that shows you your tachometer. And in the center of that, it can show you any information that you want, basically. It can give you turn-by-turn directions where it says door open, and it can also show you whatever music's playing, things of that nature. As you see, we're going to go ahead here and show it off and show what our mileage is. We are averaging 29.1. That is lower than the 2022, but I do drive significantly less on the highway. Towards the center, you'll see miles per hour. That is a digital readout. Right below it, it will show you the current speed limit to you when you are in motion, which I find to be very handy if you don't know the current speed limit in your area. And off to the right is just your standard analog readout for your speedometer. We're going to go ahead here and move over to the center console, over into the radio display. There's now a more heads-up look. Instead of being built low into the dash where it's inconvenient to look at, it's now built further up and easier to see. It is worth noting in the EXL, you now have a 9-inch display over a 7-inch display in the 2022. Also, Apple CarPlay is wireless, so no need for cords. Down below, in front of the cup holder, you will take notice to a wireless charging pad. I personally don't use that much, but it is nice to have. You also have 3 USB connections up front for charging all your multiple devices. Also, I don't get any good video of it, but the climate control is now going back to knobs. I think it will look slightly more premium than the previous touchscreen. It also has dual climate controls in the 2023 version, so if your passenger wants to be warm and you want the AC on, that is completely doable now. Moving on to the armrest area, you can see there's significantly more area down there. There's like a storage compartment down there that you can put stuff through. Also, you can see the armrest storage is significantly larger. It no longer slides forward, but the armrest in general is significantly larger. Here's a quick look at the back of the 2022 and 2023 HRVs. As you can see here are the magic seats in the 2022. They fold up in locking position and also fold down. We'll walk around the back and you can see the cargo area for both vehicles. Honestly, in real life, they're about the same. I know the 2023 is slightly larger since it's a larger vehicle, but in real life, they're basically the same. As we go ahead here and slide into the 2023, you will take notice that there is no cargo seat. With that said though, since it is a larger vehicle, you will see me slide in here. My front seat is in my driving position and I still fit perfectly behind it. I am 6'1", 250 pounds, I'm not a small guy, but my head has plenty of room and my knees do not touch the back of the driver's seat, which is something that usually doesn't happen unless I'm riding in something like a CRV. A quick video here of the key for the 2023 EXL and Sport. The Sport now joins the family of having keyless entry and push button start along with the EXL. The Sport and the EXL both now have remote start as well. This was not an option for any previous model of 2022 HRV. The fact that the Sport and EXL both have push button start and keyless entry is a very nice addition. In conclusion, the 2022 and 2023 HRV are fantastic vehicles, and either vehicle will serve you well for many problem-free years. With that said, the 2023 is the better bang for your buck due to the larger overall size, upgrade interior, and included features that are not available in the 2022 or cost extra to add to the 2022. However, if you prefer the look of the 2022, need fog lights, pedal shifters, or the magic seat, the 2022 is a great vehicle. Also, with the new redesign being released now, the leftover 2022s may be available for a cheaper price at your local dealership. I apologize for the very quick and rushed video, as the 2022 EXL you see in this video was due to be traded in the day after filming this for a 2023 EXL in Nordic green. If you have any questions about any 2022 Sport or EXLs or 2023 Sport or EXL models, feel free to ask down below. I'll do my best to reply. Please realize I do not know as much information about the base model LX. Also, please realize that these vehicles are USA spec'd, so if you are in Europe, there may be a difference between the stateside vehicles in the European market. Have a good day.